and Catholics in some universities as well, yeah? Mm-hmm. What was the response of the Jewish community to the country club business?
Build your own.
Build your own. Preferably nicer, if you could. Better food, we claim. Okay, whatever. By the way, that beautiful USA of America of yours, the major urban centers are full with medical institutions such as Maimonides, Mount Sinai, Cedar something or the other. Why were Jewish hospitals created?
Jewish doctors couldn't practice.
Jewish doctors couldn't practice. You climb the walls? No. You create your own. Rule number 3, do not push the end. When God Almighty in His ultimate wisdom will see fit, He will send us Messiah. And until Messiah will lead us to our country. Not climbing walls, not breaking the law, main street. And up till then, what is a good Jew supposed to do? Which of the 3 did the Zionist movement break?
The third.
Only? Only the 3rd? All of them.
No, they got rid of the
All of them. Now, from the perspective of the Satmar Rebbe, madam, whether you like him or not, and you may find him totally unlikable, like I do, and yet from his perspective, it made total sense. For 2,000 years we have survived. Yes, there were problems here and there, but no total annihilation. Here comes the Zionist movement, end of the 19th century, 50 years, bingo, Holocaust, what did you expect? We leave them in Crown Heights, where they prospered. They were 40 in 1946. You know how many they are now? In Kiryat Yoel, the town built in memory of that Rabbi, Yoel Teitelbaum, who had said what I just quoted. Tens of thousands. They prospered. And we come back to you, sir. Are you going to follow the Rabbi with him?
Absolutely not.
No way. Okay. But a letter reaches you from your buddies in university medical school at the time. You were active a little bit. You were curious about the Zionist movement. And some of them did go and establish a kibbutz or whatever. And they found you, and they write to you and say, Joseph, we heard what had happened. Would you join us now? We know you lost so much. Just come. There are friends here. We speak your language. We'll find you some work. You can help us build. Please join us, will you?
I don't think so.
You don't think so, but some did. And we want to follow their path. So imagine one of those now literal Jews is arriving, and he is interested in Zionist thought. And they are giving you the opportunity to speak to the other ideological end from the Satmar Rebbe. Ultra-Orthodox anti-Zionist, I'll give you secular Zionist. Okay? Secular Zionist leaders of the period in Palestine in 1946, can you give me one name? Ben-Gurion. That would be liberal, left of center. I would use socialist because it's not such a bad word, right? So we'll say left of center. It's more polite. Okay. Can you give me another name?
Katzenelson.
Oh, I'm afraid that by 1946.
Golda.
Golda, yeah, but the same party was Ben-Gurion. Can you do one of the other parties? A little bit more to the right? Good! Bingo, you're very good. Opportunity. You could meet with Golda, Ben-Gurion, or Begin in 1946. Huge Zionist leaders of the period. What's your choice?
Ben-Gurion.
Ben-Gurion, okay. Now, you admire the man. He's a nation builder, really. You're not going to waste his time. You got half an hour just to sort of pick me up upon your arrival. And you have one question to him. You won't say sir, by the way, to Ben-Gurion. You'd probably use the Israeli chaver. I hate to say comrade because immediately you'll think communist. Chaver is not exactly the same, but remember Clinton, when Rabin was assassinated, Shalom Chaver, Rabin belonged to the same party, so that was the proper way to address. Okay, so you would say Chaver Ben-Gurion or Chaver David. I really am not going to waste your time, and thank you for this interview. One question only. What's your take? Why did the Holocaust happen? What would Ben-Gurion answer? Why did the Holocaust happen according to secular Zionist mode of thinking?
We didn't move fast enough.
We were not Zionist enough. And Ben-Gurion, great leader he was, politically correct, never heard a word. You say, Joseph, what do you mean? Haven't we, Zionist leaders, traveled the towns and shtetls of Europe pleading with you guys. Come, join us. How it will? Did you listen? No. You said yourself you didn't listen to Zionist. Now look at what happens in the year 1946 in this part of the world. We haven't moved outside of Jewish circles. We didn't cross the street to ask the opinion of the Presbyterian Church. It's all within Jewish circles. Why did the Holocaust happen? Because we were Zionist. Why did the Holocaust happen? Because we were not Zionist enough. Thank you very much. Now it's crystal clear. It's all within us. Two totally opposing narratives.
It's our fault.
Thank you. And the common denominator, whose responsibility is it?
Ours.
The Yom Kippur thing. Our responsibility. Now, since again I know you so intimately and so closely, I know what you're thinking. And what you're thinking, some of you at least, is classical Jewish response. Always assume guilt, right? I am not letting you get away with it. Because I'm inviting you to a more universal take on the thing. How about classical victim reaction? Victim reaction.
Mm-hmm.
You do not absolutely need to be a Jew for that. Any victim, anything bad happens, where did I go wrong? Why did we consult that doctor, not the other doctor? Why did we give him the car keys? Why didn't we give him the car keys? Etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Anything bad happens to you, and immediately, where did I go wrong? It's not. It helps if you're a Jew, but it's absolutely not a necessity. It helps.
Survivor's guilt.
Any,
No.
yeah, you could,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with that. Let's see how this plays out in practical life in the land of Israel at the time. The year is still 1946, and we are going to look at it from two perspectives. Both fact, we're done with fiction. Both fact. One on the individual level, my mother's story. The other public, well-referenced arena, and I'll give you the quotes and the references and everything. Mom, my mother survived the Holocaust in Budapest, Hungary. She was born in 1924, therefore by the year 1946 she is as old as 22. She survived in Budapest, saving her sister. Miraculously, Grandma had also survived one of the bad camps in Austria, Günskirchen. The rest of the family did not do that well. Mom rushes into a very fast marriage after the Holocaust. Many people did that. The need for warmth, normalcy, love, intimacy, whatever was clear. And by the beginning of January, of the year 1946, she got married in January, she realizes she is pregnant. The decision at that point is to leave Hungary. They board one of the clandestine immigrant boats that the Brits will catch, put them in a detention camp here, not in Cyprus, here in Aklit. It wasn't a summer camp. But, you know, the Brits, as bad as they have been Nazis, they were not. People lived in those camps. They were fed, they got medical treatment, let out pretty soon, barely a month. For them it was very long. I say barely, you know, hindsight, easy. I wasn't there. Actually, I was. Mom was pregnant with me. But my memories are not very clear of the period. They are sent to a kibbutz. You all know what those are. The kibbutz they are sent to is called Geva. It's in the valley of Jezreel. By the time my parents arrived there, it's already celebrating its 25th anniversary. Leaf back in your knowledge of Zionist lore. If they by 46 are already 25 years in the land, that would mean third Aliyah, out and out socialist Litvaks. Mom is middle class Budapest, Orthodox background. Can you think of the meeting ground? They couldn't have been nicer. Here is my mom, 22 years of age, pregnant. No trade. Her studies were stopped by the Holocaust. No language. Hungarian doesn't count. That's it. It's not true. What can she do for work? I mean, you arrive to a new place, you're an immigrant, pregnancy is not a disease. What can you do for work?
Kitchen.
Kitchen! You're very right, Gloria, because even Litvaks know that Hungarians cook better. Okay. I have to do something for the pride of the community. Okay. They are in the kitchen, peeling whatever. potatoes, etc. for lunch. My mom and an old-timer kibbutz member, 25 years in the land. Now, I'll have you listen to the real conversation, but I want you to be aware of the underneath, non-explicit conversation. Old-timer kibbutz member, they would be referred to as kibbutznikit, okay? And my mom just arrived yesterday, 2 days before. Can you hear the kibbutz member, the old-timer? Now you're coming? We haven't waited for Hitler to come to this land, have we now? It's the pioneer-refugee conversation. These are two different statuses, two different ideologies. Okay? But the conversation is for us. No, goes the old-timer to my mom. What was it like? Holocaust. As bad as they say? Don't blame the woman. I mean, come on. The books, movies, internet sites that we have today did not exist at the time. What did they have in 1946? Nothing. Here is a life survivor. The woman is curious. No, she goes. Mom corrects whatever common vocabulary they had, which is not much. The woman doesn't speak Hungarian, but Litvaks, they speak Yiddish. And the man was right. My mother did have German, because she wasn't ultra-Orthodox, just plain Orthodox, and therefore, like you, she would have German. So German, Yiddish, you can talk. So she started telling how they lived in that part of Budapest that has always been Jewish, not because of the Nazis, because of Jews, because if you are an Orthodox, you will need your kosher butcher, you will need the cheder for the kid, whatever. So, and they were middle class, so they live in this urban, I would say, compound. Nice garden inside, 3 or 4 levels up, 3 or 4 bedrooms to an apartment. Everybody was Jewish in the building. Of course, they had a piano, 2 girls. How else would they raise them? And then in the summer of 1944, which is when it happens to the Budapest Jews, a local fascist, Arrow Cross, not even a German, comes into the compound, shoots 1 shot in the air, says to everybody to go down, and then they are led to where Jews are led those days.